Hey there YouTube, this is Yugioh Network 99 here, and I welcome you to my first tutorial video, and today I will be talking about the basics of Yu-Gi-Oh! So, if you are completely new at the game and have never played before, this is the perfect place to start. Let me warn you that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a pretty expensive card game, but I will make a video later on how to play the game and not use an extreme amount of money, but to a certain extent, it is an expensive card game. So if you're not in a financial state to play this card game, then maybe it isn't a good game for you. So, without further ado, let's begin. So this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Is for fun. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a fun card game. It's not. It can get competitive, but for the most part, it is a fun card game. And let me begin. So in Yu-Gi-Oh! You create your own deck of cards. So here I have my deck, which is still a work in progress, and this deck has 40 cards in it. You can have 40 to 60 cards in your deck, and as you can see, there are a whole lot of different colored cards inside the deck, and I will be going through all the different card types, but not what they do in this episode, just their names. So let's start with the orange card here, or brown, or whatever you want to call it. This is Effect Monster. So these are pretty common, and you will find a lot of these in a deck. And the green cards are magic or spell cards. Now these were called magic cards before they were called spell cards, because the Konami changed them because it made more sense to the story. So this is a spell card. And finally we have trap cards, and these trap cards are pink, and nothing more to be said about them. I will have a separate video about it, about all the different card types. And this is a normal monster in yellow or beige. Okay, so now I've been through all the card types. I'm going to talk about the point system in this game. Points in this game are called life points. So you have, most games you'll have 8,000 life points. Sometimes you'll have 4,000 if you're playing with friends and you just want to get a quick game. But tournament games are 8,000 life points on both players. And the first player to get the opponent down to 0 life points, wins. So that is how you win. And as you can see, monsters have attack and defense, and that's how you bring down their life points. I will be having separate videos on these, and this is just really the basics of the game right now. So there's different card zones on the playing field. I don't have a playmat right now. I threw out all my playmats from my starter decks, so I'll just put it out for you. So right here on the right, you will have your deck zone where you'll put your deck. So here, let me just show you. Here, give you a little idea. Okay, so this is your deck zone. Over here is your graveyard. So let's say I've used this card. It will go in your graveyard. So that's kind of the name for the discard place, or where you put all your dead stuff in this game. And right here, you have your field spell card. So let's say there's a spell card that's called a field spell card. I'll get into that later. And it would go there. And over here, there's your extra deck, or no, sorry, the field spell card goes there. And over here, you can put your extra deck. So this is a deck that has Exceeds and Synchros, Fusions, and of course Rituals. So, or no, not Rituals, sorry. And this deck goes here. And over here, this is your side deck. So in between of games, you can switch into these cards if you ever need them. And yeah, so if this card was dead, it would go into the graveyard. And here, you'll have 5 spots for magic and or spells. Sorry, I'm still on the old card game. Spells or trap cards. And over here, you would have spots for 5 monsters. Normal or effect monsters, nonetheless. So there are 5 phases in the game. You start off with your draw phase, where you draw 1 card from your deck. This happens at the beginning of every turn. And at the beginning of your first turn, you draw 5 cards. Then you have your standby phase, where if it's set on a card effect, or like in the little text down here, like as you can see, there's like text down there. If it says something about the standby phase, you do it, but other than that, you don't do anything. Then it's your main phase 1, where you get to set a spell or trap, use a spell, or attack, or summon a monster, or normal summon a monster, or special summon a monster. You're only allowed 1 normal summon per turn, but you're allowed as many special summons. I will get into that later as well. This is just basically basic throwing everything at you at once. And I will have annotations to the different tutorials around the screen if they are ready. Finally comes the battle phase, where you get to attack your opponent. then the main phase 2, where you can set more spells and traps, or activate more spells and traps, or if you haven't done your normal summon yet, you can do that in the main phase 2. And then comes your end phase, where you end your turn. So this is the end of episode 1. This was just the basics of Yu-Gi-Oh! I will get much more into detail and all these things in later episodes. This was just basically a launch episode, just to show you guys really how the game works in basics. So thank you so much for watching. If you could, I would love it if you could like, comment, favorite, and subscribe. All those things help me out a lot. And if you like this series, comment if you do. And if you don't like it, well, comment why you don't. And I read all the comments, and I will respond accordingly. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys some other time. See ya.